everybody, it's Sam here. I'm on my own. Obviously, we've got tonight's guest on calls away doing spooky stuff. Obviously, within government guidelines and stuff like that, so he's given me the reins for tonight. So I hope everybody is well on another, COVID month, year, whatever it is now. So I'll just get tonight's guest in, which is Greig.
Hello. Hello.
Again.
I'm just turning my phone on silent.
It's fine.
Hello everybody. Nice to be back on here.
And it's somewhat obviously completely different because they've not really seen your face on our show yet, have they? So
no, oh yeah, of course, yeah. It was just the voice, yeah. So this is nice. So I was trying to think about where should I sit? Should I just chill out on the couch, or should I go to the office? And I thought, no, I'll just relax in the dining room. And my new, can you see it? My new canvas. Can you see what it says?
What is life without music?
There you go. See. Yeah.
Nice.
Got to have your music. So I thought, no, let's get some nice lighting. So I'm sitting comfortably. So the cats are asleep somewhere. Well, I've got my witchy cat Elsa in front of me on a little armchair, so they're snuggled up now as the weather is pretty atrocious outside this evening.
Yeah, hopefully no storms it'll come and it'll cut us out or anything.
Yeah, sorry Greg, you were on for about 6 minutes and the power cut us off.
So I'm going to start off. So how have you been? Because this has been like pretty wild since we've had you on.
Yeah, it was. I think it was so weird. At the beginning of the year, I mean, obviously, people knew about this virus being around, and it wasn't so much of an alarming thing, at that time. And I was getting on with life and getting on with, fitting in and enjoying my new place and new, in Cornwall and new life in Cornwall, and over there exploring and still doing some investigations, which was good. And then literally it was like, I think it was the week before lockdown in March, I did my investigation in Newton Abbot, in Ford House, Newton Abbot. Everyone's heard of that. It's a great building. Had a really good time. And then literally it was like, that was it. And then a week later it was like lockdown. And it was really strange because I think was it on the Sunday or Saturday that the government announced? It was really quick. I felt it was really quick and sudden. And then, because they shut the schools, didn't they? And then basically I was told I don't come into work Monday. Well, the foreseeable, and I was like, that was it. And I was furloughed for 4 months. And it's been difficult because some people think it was just for a 4-month holiday. But for me, I guess for the first week or so, it was quite nice to just take some time out and actually stay inside and be safe, and say goodbye to everybody and and not seeing anybody. So I kind of felt safe, but then it just got weird because I was like, okay, well, what do I do with my days? There's only so much time of vacuuming around the house and clearing out boxes and cleaning, and I was kind of thinking getting up every day, and I was actually finding it difficult to get up because I was thinking, well, I can't go anywhere, I can't see anybody, and my other half Steve was still, because he works in London, and he's a frontline emergency service worker, so he was still, for him it was still back and forth as normal, although he was the only paid person on the train from Cornwall to London Paddington. Only one for about 3 months, and that was weird. And arriving into London Paddington and there being not a soul at all. So it was weird. It was weird, and it wasn't. Some people have said to me, "Oh, it must have been so cool, not working for 4 months." And as I said, it was nice for a few months, but then it became difficult because you can't go out. So I was walking up and down. We live on top of a big hill in the valley, and I was like, okay, just walking down the bottom of the hill and walking back up again, and twice a day. I was like, at least I can try and stay fit and everything. But it was nice. It was nice when we were allowed to go a bit further out and exercise, because I feel very lucky and privileged living here that I'm only a mile and a half from the sea. So I felt very lucky that I was able to get out and go to the sea, and so I was going there pretty much every day really, and it was still very quiet. So it's been really weird. And of course, with everybody in this field that we love, the paranormal, it's been horrendous, and talking to friends, and as you know, Sam, it's just some businesses have maybe not coming back from this, and I've found it really hard, and getting no financial support, and then just stopping that, what you love. And I had lots of investigations planned this year, and it was and then it was cancelled. It's been really difficult.
Yeah, and then obviously you've probably been like many paranormal events teams where they've booked events and then it's like, oh yeah, we're going into lockdown again, which we're obviously currently in.
Yeah, exactly. So I had two in November, and both couldn't go ahead. So that's a shame, because obviously coming back in July we were okay, well, we're allowed to do this, and we're allowed to do this, and keeping our little groups, and with all the masks and all the guidelines, and I thought that was great, because we can still have a good time and get back into it. But obviously then the announcement, and to be honest, some venues were still like, no, we're just cancelling the whole of the year, and we're going to start again next year. So however, I have managed one. I did manage one that wasn't cancelled. That was back in the week before Halloween. I was at the Ancient Ram Inn. Some people might know this place. It's very famous, or infamous, shall I say. And it was just great. Well, the place keeps putting me back. This was my 9th time, I think, or 10th time being there. But I was just really glad to kind of get back into it. But it was very strange. We all had to arrive at different times, so not to be crowded, and we all had to stay in a little group. So I was with these 3 ladies, and we stayed in our group all night long, and we couldn't obviously interact with anybody else, and there was like a queuing waiting system to get refreshments in the kitchen, and obviously wearing our masks and everything. So, and I was like saying to the spirits, I was like, you might have been alive during like when there was a plague or the Black Death and disease, and I said, well, this is us. We've got a mask on because we're going through a disease, so don't be frightened of us. Don't not come out and play with us, please, tonight. So but no, it was really good. It was a really, really good night, actually. We had some really good activity with intelligent knocks and responses and good stuff on the equipment, which is really good. And actually it was a really great night, and it was just so nice to even though it was a distance, to speak to people and be around people, and who have been so desperate to get back into it. And of course that was the one, and then the others have been cancelled. So yeah, really, really frustrating, but what can we do? There's nothing we can do at the moment.
No. And it'll just make it more exciting when we can actually go out and do what we love.
Yeah, I know, yeah. As I said, it was 7 months between my last one and the one at the Ancient Ram Inn. So I was giddy like a schoolboy. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I get my equipment, all my equipment cases out, and I was like, okay, all the batteries are dead. So I bought loads and loads of batteries, and put all the batteries back in the K2s and REM pods and Mel meters, and powered everything up again. And I realised I had loads of footage on my camera that from beginning of the year, I hadn't even like uploaded on my computer, so you know, I had to do that. But no, and I think, do you know what I have said to people? In a way, I think there's one positive thing out of this is that all the places that suddenly all of us can go to that have maybe been visited like every weekend, and
Yeah.
I always say the spirits must get sick of us saying, is there anybody there? Can you knock once for no, twice for yes? And can you do this? Can you do that? And, you know, and I think actually some of these locations, which I feel some of them are overdone, to have a break from us,
Yeah.
you know, I think will be a good thing. And I think maybe when we go back to these places that we can hopefully go next year, fingers crossed, I think we'll appreciate it more. I think we'll appreciate these venues more. And I think we'll appreciate if we do get spiritual activity, things we can't explain. I think we'll, especially for me, like even doing it in October, I was just, you know, I was more appreciative of actually just, you know, hearing a minuscule thing or seeing something, or,
Yeah.
you know, before I'd be like, oh, that's not very much, you know, but I was like, oh God, if we get anything, it's a plus. So I think, yeah, hopefully, I think we'll appreciate going to these places more and appreciate, you know, how much energy it takes for the spirits to kind of come out and, you know, communicate with us, and hopefully they will next year. But yeah, I think it's been good for them to have a break from us, to be honest.
Yeah. Probably. I think it's good as well though, because you've been like, I found like one positive thing is you've been able to, like you said, you've uploaded things to you, been able to upload previous footage to your computer. I think it's just good because everyone can do, like if they run paranormal events teams, they can see what they can do next year, and you know, they can kind of work on the team or work on themselves, kind of thing. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was going through some footage earlier this year and going through and just seeing how, you know, we were doing and what I was doing, and, you know, and just, you know, interesting. And like you say, getting new ideas of, I think, because there's always, I don't know what about you, but there seems to be a new piece of equipment coming out every month. And I would be seriously in debt if I allowed myself to buy everything that was new out there. Believe me, I'm, you know, I've got itchy fingers to go, oh my God, that looks fantastic, I want to buy that. And I'm like, don't do that, Greg. You're going to run away with yourself. And yeah, and then I'd have to buy about 6 million cases as well to carry it in. So no, but it's good. I mean, there's loads of stuff out there. There's always new experiments to try, and you know, but having said that, it's been good. You know, I've gone back over a lot of footage from, you know, 2-3 years ago and actually had a laugh, and seeing stupid things, like I call them like little bloopers, where it doesn't go quite according to plan, or something happens and someone screams, usually me. Like everyone knows, I'm usually the person to have that obligatory big scream on an event, even though I shouldn't really be doing that. No, just looking back and seeing funny things as well, and you know, people you've investigated before, and oh, I cannot wait. There's so many people. I mean, you and I, we haven't investigated yet together, which hopefully at some point we will. But you know, seeing on video people you've investigated before, and it's been so long, and excitement of that as well is getting back together with all the people you've investigated before, and you know, so.
That's the thing, isn't it, as well? Because like you could probably been able to talk to friends like who you have not talking to even in a while, and family, because obviously we all get so busy with work and that. So
yeah, absolutely. And I must say, if this had happened like 15-20 years ago, I think it'd be, you know, even more difficult. And I think you know, we take modern technology for granted a lot, like smartphones and that. But for me, it's been my saving grace this year. Tell you, and also being in touch with my mother. She lives in North Yorkshire. Like, she lives 400 miles away from me. And speaking to her on WhatsApp video it's been, you know, good for me and good for her as well. You know, because, you know, and obviously Facebook and messaging, and and it's but then even with it, like you said, it's been difficult because people are all over the place, like, you know, mentally, emotionally, you know, and some people don't want to talk and some people really need to talk, and, you know, and being there for people, and, you know, so it's been crazy. It's been crazy. And I find, like, since I've been back at work, it's just so busy. It's just been so crazy, and people panicking, and then this lockdown, if you want to call it that, people, because I work in a vets, and people panicking about this, that, and the other, when, you know, I keep saying it's 4 weeks. 4 weeks, things can wait.
We did it longer last time, didn't we? First time round, we did it longer, didn't we?
So, you know, it's just, you know, don't panic, and, you know, this time. But I think it's just the uncertainty is it going to be extended? Are we going to have another one, you know, early next year, or, you know, we just so uncertain. But then, you know, we all have our opinion, but I think, you know, there's people out there that are obviously blatantly not following any rules, and, you know, it's their own thing, and that's difficult, because when you're doing your best to follow the rules and stay safe and, you know, follow the guidelines, it's difficult when you see, you know, groups of people out there not doing it, and those people will be responsible for us going in and out of lockdowns for however long this goes on for, until we get the vaccine, and that hopefully works, and we can try and get back to some normality. But no, I mean, it is great having modern technology, because I think many of us would be even in a worse place, I think, if we, you know, couldn't see each other or talk to each other, you know.
Hi to anybody who's watching, by the way. I know we've kind of just like spoken a little bit, but hi to anybody who's watching. So,
yeah, where are they all?
They're probably watching all I'm a Celebrity, most of them, because that starts again tonight, doesn't it?
Oh my God, does it? Already? Oh my God! But isn't it? It's quite interesting to see, because it's in that
Haunted Castle.
Yeah, in is it, where is it? Is it in Wales?
Wales, yeah.
Ah, do you know of it? Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't know of it now. I'm only watching it because it's haunted location. I don't normally watch I'm a Celeb. But,
no, I don't either, and I think I might just see. I saw some stills yesterday, I think, that they set up in the castle. But yeah, I hate it. I hate all the trials and everything, all the in group arguing and all that, and the celebrity stuff. But no, I might watch it a little bit just to see how they're gonna do this castle. But I did see actually a post from Danny Moss, fellow investigator, that he actually went there before, I think last year or the year before, to look at a possible location for an investigation, actually. So, and it's quite interesting to see his pictures and that. And I was like, oh, okay, I know where that is. And yeah, so I guess, yeah, everybody's like, oh, watching Celebrity and just ignoring us here.
We're not bothered anyway. They can watch back, so.
Yeah.
So we'll move on from, you know, normal stuff. So we'll do a little bit of a recap. So how did you get into the paranormal?
Wow. So it was, mainly because I started watching a well-known television program that started, I can't believe it I think it started like 19 years ago, or 18 years ago. That show, Most Haunted, no copyright. And and I thought, this is just really amazing. And seeing it on TV. I mean, I had a few experiences when I was a child of things I couldn't quite explain, but kind of just forgot about it, really. And then everyone was raving on about this program, so I started watching it, and watched a few series and that, and then I thought, oh, I wonder if there's a way that the public can do this, you know. And then it was about it was actually 10 years ago. Where are we? It's almost 10 years ago. It will be next weekend, 10 years ago that I went on my first investigation into Woodchester Mansion. So I basically Googled. It was, I think it's last July 10 years ago. I just Googled ghost hunts or public ghost hunts. And then this company came up and they were going to Woodchester Mansion in Gloucestershire, and I'd seen an episode of the mansion on Most Haunted, and I was like, wow, this looks really scary but really exciting as well. And I was just so excited. So I said to my other half, Steve, I said, I didn't really ask him. I just kind of booked his ticket because I thought I'm not going on my own. So I booked on the event and went on it. Although I was really bad, I must be honest. I was really bad. I was screaming the whole night. I was jumpy. Everything was a ghost. Everything was paranormal. And Steve was like, "Greg, you're embarrassing me." But yeah, it was scary. They made me go down. Have you been to Woodchester?
Yeah, I've been to Woodchester Mansion. Yeah.
Yeah. So they made me. What they did is when you go up the main staircase, the stone staircase up onto the landing, you've got like a corridor in front of you, and then you've got to the right, you've got the stairs going downstairs, and then you've got another staircase going up to the second floor behind me. And they went, "Greg, right, you're going to go there. You can do a lone vigil. We're going to be down the corridor in the bathroom, and you stay there, and we want you to call out to see if any spirits will interact with you." So I had my torch in my pocket, which was on, and the guy leading the investigation, he said, "Greg, I can see you've got the torch on. You need to turn your torch off." And I was like, "Oh my God." So I turned the torch off, and I lasted 30 seconds, I think, if that. I heard what sounded like, I don't know, it was my first investigation, so it could have been just the wind or whatever, but it sounded like someone was walking behind me down the stairs towards me. It sounded like footsteps. So I screamed and ran back to the group, and the guy said, "Greg, well done, first of all." He said, "But I think that's the shortest vigil I've ever known anyone do in my life." So it was fun, and I couldn't stop kind of thinking about the night and raving on about it, and that was it. I was hooked. I was just hooked, and it was it. That was it, and I was just steady booking on more and more events with different companies and seeing. Also, it was interesting to see how different companies work and what they did experiment wise, and also because of that is how I've got into learning all about different ways of investigating. So I must thank all those companies that I've gone with before, and seeing how they investigate, from everything from just plain old, sitting down and just listening out, or waiting for noises to come to you, or learning about Ouija boards and knowing that they're nothing like Hollywood, but you still have to approach them with respect. And learning about I love the equipment side, and building up my own little, equipment kind of base of equipment, and learning on that side, the scientific side, and being more rational, and stopping myself and think, okay, what could be causing that, draft or that sound, or what am I seeing? Is it the corner of the eye? So over 10 years, I've learned so much from many people, and also my own research of just reading and doing and trying different things, because you just, you end up trying anything you can to try and communicate with people who are no longer with us alive, So, so that's it. I mean, I've done, must be easily 400 investigations now in 10 years, which I think is quite a good number. And I did get carried away one year. I think it was a couple of years ago. I was doing back-to-back on the weekend. So I was going to one Friday night and then traveling stupid amount of mileage to another one on the Saturday night, staying in different hotels, and then driving all the way back home on a Sunday. And having what everybody knows, the paranormal hangover, and just being like a zombie for about a week.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think it was about 6 months where I just did Friday, Saturday. Did about 100 investigations. I think it was about 6 months. But I've realised I've had, had to pull back a little bit, spaced them out, because and also they just end up kind of flowing into one into the other. And then people ask you, "Oh, where did you go then? And what happened?" You're like, "Hang on a minute, which date was that? Where was that?" Just, So I love it. It's become part of me now. It's the part of who I am, and I just love it. And even when I do see, which I haven't yet, even when I do see my first full apparition, and I know 100% that it's nothing else than a spirit, a ghost, I will still carry on because I love it and I never stop. But I will be. I don't know how I'll react when I actually see full apparition. I think I almost saw one once, but I'm not 100% sure what I saw. It could have possibly been a full apparition, but no. So obviously this year everything stopped. So I'm just excited to get back to it next year, and going to different locations as well is what I was doing last year, because I kept going back to similar locations before, because I liked them, and I always get a good activity and good results. But I was like, no, I need to, people are telling me about all these locations. I'm like, I've never been. So, I've been writing lists of places, I want to go. The only frustrating thing is now, because I've moved down the far southwest corner of the country, everything seems just a million miles away. And they go, Greg, just come up here. And I'm like, I can't just come up here because it's like 6-7 hours away now. It's not just like a couple of hours. But I've got so many more on my bucket list, and maybe at some point I'd like to maybe go to the US and do some, because I know you have, but do some locations out there really. So which would be good. Hopefully at some point.
Yeah, hopefully. That's a good thing though. Woodchester Mansion is a pretty decent first paranormal investigation to go on, because when my first paranormal investigation I went on was a theatre. So.
All right. Where was that?
It was back up Stoke.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I haven't. Have I done a theatre? I have. Yes, I've done one theatre. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know what made me pick Woodchester as my first one. I think of all the locations I had seen on TV, that just kind of stood out for me really. I think because there's that long drive down into the valley, and because it's just if for the people listening and watching, that they haven't been there, it's just when you do that long kind of 1.5 mile drive down to the bottom of the valley, and it's such a sight to see this Gothic unfinished mansion just standing there alone, hidden away from the rest of the world. I think it's amazing. And I was really lucky, because the first time I went there, it's a bit of a cliche like haunted house, but it was a clear night and it was almost a full moon, and the full moon, like, it was shining on the valley, so it was creating a shadow. So it created a shadow, the Woodchester Mansion, like shadow going across the ground, and it was just fantastic. So I think it was it was really good. I think it was a bit too scary for me on my first one, but no, it made me want to book more. So and I went back there. Was it last year? I think so. I think it was last year I went back there. I'd been there a couple of times in between, but I thought I'd go back there. I hadn't been back there for a while, and I was so excited to get back there. And it was just as great as it always is, really. Just one of those places. I think, like all locations, sometimes you have quiet times, and sometimes you don't. But I never go away there feeling like down about that nothing happened. I always go away from there with things that have happened I cannot explain. That cannot be explained away. So it's always a special one. I was due to go back there in May, just a small group of us, 10 of us in May, but obviously they stopped doing investigations there for a while. So hopefully at some point, maybe next year, it'd be nice to go back.
It'd be good if they actually put a roof on it, like, because some of the buildings not got roofs on, have they? From when I last went, there was like, and then you've got like, when I went, then you've got like bats flying in, and you're like, ducking.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. In the top corridor, when you look up, it's still, even though they've done a lot of work to the stonework and like they put the flooring in, you know, but when you look up to the top of the attic, and there's still these massive holes in the ceiling. And yeah, the bats, because they just come out of nowhere, and you can't. They can see you obviously because they've got perfect night vision, but obviously we can't see them. So it's always a good scare, those bats. I know they've done a lot of work. I don't know if you remember. There's one side of the mansion you can never ever go over because it's always been unsafe. But I know they've done a lot of work over the last couple of years. On that side, a lot of restoration work on that side. So maybe sometime in the future we might be able to explore that side, which has never been explored before. So that'd be something special.
Certainly will. So I know we're talking about the paranormal anyway. So have you ever witnessed anything like what's really like unexplained?
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh, where do I begin? I think I tell you what. One of the very very crazy experiences I had was actually September 2019. It was my last investigation before moving down to Cornwall, and we were at Manor Farm. Manor Farm near Southampton. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No, I haven't heard of that. No.
So it dates back. The buildings date back to like the 1500s. It used to be a big farmhouse. It was split into cottages. There's like an old small church on the grounds that's deconsecrated now, so it's not used anymore. And there's some barns that are like 600 years old, and monks used to travel through the area on the way from Beaulieu Abbey to Netley Abbey in Hampshire. And I went there about 4 years ago for the first time, and just had an amazing time. And I remember being in one of the cottages, very quiet, and because it's the buildings are so spread out, and it's there's no noise pollution. You're not near any houses or housing estates or anything, and there's no light pollution either. So it's a great location for things like that. And we were in one of the cottages, and I had put my REM pod on the staircase going upstairs because we'd heard some noises upstairs, and so I called out and I said, you know, if you can hear my voice, I said there's like a weird round, you know, because sometimes you have to be really really plain at what you're saying, because I think sometimes when you say, oh, there's a REM pod, there's a K2, and you're talking to somebody who lived 400 years ago, they're not going to understand what you're talking about. So I always say, like, there's a little round red box on the stairs, and if you go towards that, you know, it will make a noise, you know, it won't harm you, but we'll just know that you're there. So I said, if you can hear my voice, if you can go to that red box and make a noise, that would be fantastic. So about 10 seconds later, the box went off, the REM pod went beep beep, and I was like, okay, this is really good. This is really good. So I said, thank you so much. If that was you, can you give us 3 beeps? So if you can go towards the box and give us 3 beeps by interacting with it, or however you can. Again, about 10 to 15 seconds later, we got beep, beep, beep. So for people who think, well, that could be anything, but I think to me, that's something is interacting with that, you know, antenna, because it creates that bubble of electromagnetic field. So something has to kind of get in there to do those beeps. And I, from experience, the only thing that sets a REM pod off is walkie-talkies. Walkie-talkies make it go mad, and I haven't seen any other modern technology that sets them off. So that was interesting. What makes it more freaky is we went there 6 months later, and I tried to recreate the exact environment. And what was great, it was the same people with me. And our lovely friend Laurie was there both times, Laurie Schaefer.
Oh.
And so we sat in the cottage again down. I put the REM pod up on the stairs, and I said, we were here. We love coming here. We love talking with you, and we love the fact that you're coming out and trying to communicate with us. And I said, I've been here before, and I said, if you are there, if anyone is there, you remember me or remember us. Can you do what you did last time? Can you go towards that box? And literally straight away went beep beep.
Huh.
And then I said, what did I ask the next time after doing the 2 beeps? And it literally straight away it did beep beep beep, 3 beeps. To me, that's an intelligent response. Yeah. And so, there's obviously a spirit there that did the same thing, remembered us, and was there before, and is returned. Obviously, maybe it's grounded down. I'm not sure. And then I said, what was really funny, and I said, well, to the group, I whispered, I went, should we go upstairs? And the REM pod just went crazy. It was like, and we were like, okay. So what was really weird is we went upstairs, and we put the REM pod back downstairs in the little like a little lounge area in the cottage, and I said, okay, well, we've come upstairs now. Where are you? And then the REM pod went beep beep downstairs. So I was like, okay, you're playing games. I said, wherever we're going to go, you're going to go opposite, So something like that to me was just, I can't explain it. I cannot explain it away. To me, that's quite credible evidence of the paranormal, of an intelligent spirit there. I mean, that's just one, one example. I did another actually at the same place. We were actually in the old church, and it was quite quiet. Nothing was really happening. And I thought, even though it's because it's deconsecrated, I thought, well, it's not used for religious purposes anymore. So even though there was like a wooden crucifix on the altar, but one of the people in the group said, oh, it's a bit quiet. Greg, why don't you be a rebel? Why don't you go and turn the cross upside down on the altar? And I was like, are you kidding me with this? Because I'm not sure I want to do this. And they went, go on, Greg, go on there. So I'd already put my REM pod on the altar, and it was quiet. So, and there was somebody sitting next to me, and then somebody sitting next to them. She had a camera, like a professional camera, and she was just kind of taking random photos. So I went and turned the cross upside down on the altar, which I completely regret now. And I went back and sat in the pew in the church, and I swear to you, it was awful, and 2 people heard it as well. Like right by my left ear, there was a really big growl. And at that point, the girl with the camera, she had taken a couple of photos. After the growl, and of course, me screamed and freaked out. She went, she gasped, and I was like, what? And we turned our torches on, and she obviously, because with a professional camera, you can go home, you can do editing and stuff like that. So she showed us, everybody in the group, she showed us straight away what she had taken. And again, now I'm not 100% saying this is paranormal, but it was just freaky. So in the picture, there is what only I can describe. I'll have to send it to you after this. You have to kind of, it's quite dark, so you have to kind of zoom in. There's what looks like a face, kind of about 10 feet off the ground by the altar, and it's kind of doing this. And it's smirking. It's almost like whatever that is was the thing that growled at me to say you should have done what you did. And whether it was an old a priest that was there before and is still protected over the church. I don't know, but everybody saw the picture, and you know, sometimes you can look at things and your brain kind of works overtime and you start kind of picking out images, or you know, if someone's taking a picture through a window or you know of a wall, and you start seeing faces. And what is that thing? I've forgotten what it's called.
Pareidolia.
That's it. Thank you. And a lot of the times it is that, but we all looked, and we all kind of had a look at the camera, and everybody, each one of us, just immediately saw the face. There was no confusion, because when you zoom in, you see his face, you see the eyes, you see the nose, you see this grin, and we tried to think about, you know, what could be causing that. There was no picture on the wall. That, you know, the paintwork wasn't glossy. There was no reason for that to be there at all. And when we put the lights on in the church, because there's still power, we couldn't see anything on the wall that could even remotely cause that. That freaked me out, and I learned my lesson, you know, and I won't be doing anything like that again. So yeah, things like that. I mean, there's loads. I could go on and on and on, but just certain things that, you know,
stick out to
me, and that was just, yeah. I mean, it just like join the dots. I mean, you know, I do that on the altar, I get a massive growl, and then there's this smirking face looking like at me, like as in, I've just taught you a lesson, you know. Don't be doing that in a church. So yeah, there's loads of highlights, and as I said, because I've done so many, you know, I'm sure there's others that stick out, but it's hard to remember every single one.
Yeah. So here's probably another hard one for you. So out of all the locations you've investigated, what has been your favourite and why? You know, I like to put you on the spot on this show, Greg.
Oh my god! Can I pick a favourite? Oh dear. Wow. You know what? I think for consistent paranormal activity, unexplained activity, I would have to say the Manor Farm in Southampton. So if anyone lives in that part of the world, then, you know, next year when we're allowed, have a look it up, Manor Farm. My lovely friends Pigs, who are based Paranormal Intelligence Gathering Society, they go there quite a lot, and I actually went there with them quite a few times. But I think consistency. I think we're going there, and just from the moment you arrive, you know, there's a lot going on. I think consistency wise, that one. Trying to think now. Trying to think about kind of intelligent like hauntings. It's so hard, Sam. You really. Yeah.
You know, I like to put you on the spot.
Because it's like these, like, you know, when they go, "Oh, what's your top 3?" and I'm like, "Okay," and then your top 5 and your top 10.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've like in the first few years I had like a top 3, but then they changed because I've gone to somewhere else which is even better. I think probably the best place for auditory phenomena, like just outstanding. So this is not like, you know, cranking pipes or creaky floorboards. This is real intelligent auditory phenomena. Is a place called Preston Manor near Brighton. It featured on Most Haunted back in 2006, I think, and I think some other pros might have gone there. But again, it's just a beautiful place. You go in there, and it's like the family still live there, you know, with the you know, the decor and original furniture, and it's a massive place. You explore all the way up to the attic and the old servants' quarters, and you go all the way down to the basement and the scullery and the kitchen. And last time I was there was May 2019. Just you're standing in the kitchen and you're hearing and footsteps, really loud footsteps coming towards you. There's nobody there, and it's like bangs and footsteps, but it's a lot about footsteps and voices of like wailing, and I heard a girl cry, and you try and be rational. You think, okay, well, this could be coming from outside, but when it's right there in front of you and you're recording it, it's probably, for anybody who lives that part of the world or wants to travel a bit further, Preston Manor near Brighton is just, well, one, it's a fantastic home. It's very well looked after. It's just beautiful just to be, in there, and the history is amazing. The fact that some places you go and there's like you can't go there, you're not allowed in there. It's a no-go zone. This space, you go everywhere. Yeah. You're allowed everywhere, from top to bottom, all over the place. So you're not spoiled. And if you're there with a group, even if you've got 20 of you, because it's such a massive house, you can spread out. You can have some of you in the attic, in the servants' quarters, and then some of you down in the basement, and then some of you on the middle floor. I mean, it's so big and vast that you can be as far apart, from each other, not have to worry about, having noise pollution from other groups. I mean, 10 of you, could stay together, whatever. But it's just a brilliant. And I've had some, fantastic investigations there. So I think I'm going to go with those two. If I'm allowed to top two. there's others that are closely followed behind. But as I said, when you end up going to like new locations, which I'm sure that the range, will change. But those two I think stick out in my mind as two places that I always love to return to.
Great stuff. So this may be a little bit easier for you. So what would be your favourite location to go to that you've never been to, and why?
Oh, okay. So there's a few places up north that I really want to go to. I think I've heard a lot about Croxteth Hall. I don't know if you've heard of Croxteth Hall. It's near Liverpool. Again, I've just from people I know who've been there. Again, it's a vast house, and I've heard some amazing things, scary things as well there. There's that. There's also like an orphanage or an asylum as well up north. I'm not sure you can go in there anymore. What's it called?
Newsham Park, Liverpool.
That's it. Yeah. But I'm not sure if it. I'm not. Have you? Is it? Does it live up to its hype?
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. It's a bit creepy, but yeah.
Yeah. Is it still open?
I don't know, because there's a lot of different stories about some locations in there that it's open, it's not open. So.
So there's that on the list. There's one that Danny Moss, lovely Danny Moss. He's his team are the in-house team at Tatton Old Hall, Knutsford in Cheshire. That's one that I've seen some footage, and of his team. And I've heard some incredible stuff about that place. I mean, real mind-blowing, shocking, real paranormal activity, like really major stuff. So again, that's in Cheshire, so that's like a million miles away from me. So that'll have to be like a weekend thing, holiday or something to go up there. And apart from those, I mean, there's loads of other little things I've heard about places, but I really want to do some of the old asylums in the States. Definitely like Eastern State Penitentiary. There's another one in West Virginia, or maybe that's the one. I've been to. What's that place? I've been there during the day on a visit. It's the Winchester Mystery House in California. I've been there during the day, and that was it's a weird place. it's bizarre the way it's built, because it's just, you've got staircases that don't go anywhere, and corridors that get really small, and doors that don't go anywhere. And seriously, I mean, you would get lost. Again, I did a nighttime tour of Alcatraz in San Francisco. I did a nighttime tour, and that was about 2 hours, and that is creepy, real creepy. You really feel like that every cell you walk past, there's something in there like watching you. You really feel like you're being watched. I mean, major. So I'd love to do that, but as long as there's quite a big group, because I wouldn't be doing any low vigils in a cell, I don't think. But yeah, there's a few that are on my list, and by hook or by crook, at some point I will do them, and yeah, and hopefully one day I'll be in those locations, and I'll be very happy. Yeah.
So you've been on I don't know if you've seen your episode yet. You were on Most Terrifying Places, weren't you, when it aired over here? When it aired over here, because you were on this one in the UK and not on they didn't put you on the state one.
Yeah, I know Most Terrifying Places. I know because it was filmed like July 2019, so July last year, and because obviously, because first and foremost it was originally an American series, so so I think that they focus a lot more on the American locations. So I was told, oh, sorry, Greg, I think you're on the cutting room floor, and I was like, oh no, because I really enjoyed it. Warwick Castle. I was there till really late on at night, and I literally driven up from work and then gone up there and and was there for quite a while filming. It was a fantastic experience to reenact everything that I'd been through and in my experiences. It was really, really good. And to be honest, the reenactment must have been, it was a lot longer. I think I was on TV for about 2.5 minutes, but I think the reenactment was quite a lot longer. They did a lot of things, but obviously they're time constrained with what they can fit in. But I'd completely forgotten about it, and I heard that the series is on here, and I just went, I kind of got in my head, and then you, and then MJ, and then all these people saying, Greg, you're on TV, and I was like, what? And it was like, Most Terrifying Places, you're finally on TV, and I was like, oh no. So I missed it. I managed to get it on catch up. I watched it on catch up, and then then I put it on my YouTube stuff. So and then it was so weird, but it was so good because everyone said, oh, you look nice, good on camera, and it was great, the reenactment, and it was just really good. And then it was so cool because at the end of the segment, when the girl who works there said, oh yeah, so Robert Greville, he'll knock if you liked you, and I thought, well, he obviously liked me because he knocked on the door. But no, it was really really great to kind of, and also to relive actually my experience at Warwick Castle as obviously not an investigator, but just as a member of the public, just being there during the day. And I always say, to go to a location just during the day, you have this kind of mentality that nothing happens during the day, and of course it's wrong. Things can happen during the day. But yeah, it just reminded me of the experience, and doing the reenactment was good, and it was great. It was great, and then lots of people have seen it now. But yeah, it was really good being on Most Terrifying Places. So who knows what the future holds now.
Now you've done it, you're kind of like, yeah, I'm used to this now. So
well, no, I mean, it was really good. It was so well done. And they made me feel so relaxed, like the producer Laura from New York, and the director of photography. He was really great, and he was actually asking me for suggestions and how we can make this better, and this and that and the other. And it was really great. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to actually. I mean, obviously that's me being a member of the public during the day, but it'd be nice to be part of like a paranormal show. I'll be well excited to do something like that. That'd be really good. Because you've been on TV as well. You were because you've been on TV as well. You were on that news report in Las Vegas.
Vegas,
You know?
Well, we went there in person, obviously, but you never know. But yeah.
How long ago was that now? Was that 2 years ago?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes, that's another place that you've been to and I haven't. The museum, Zach's museum.
Amazing.
Jealous?
I want to go now. I want to go now though, because obviously they've added a lot of stuff. Like you can do flashlight tours now, so you can investigate. You can actually investigate it for like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. So, we'll have to do a big trip. We'll have to get a group of us to go there. And,
not sure how long it's going on for, like, but you know.
Yeah, that's another place on the list to see all of Zach's crazy artifacts.
Yeah. So we're coming up to the end of the show. So
already?
Yeah.
Already?
So I know, like, this is like probably the most weirdest, stupidest, pointless question to ask you, because obviously we don't know what's going on yet. So, but do you have anything planned for the future, kind of thing?
So I'm not with the Fight Nights family anymore. So I left when I moved down here, because obviously I don't want to stop doing it at the moment. So I've just been kind of been planning just non-profit events for friends and like-minded people, really. So not public events as such, just friends really who I've investigated before, and just doing, all it is just covering costs of the higher costs. So so I as I mentioned before, and we all know, lots of places closed and not doing anything. However, I have got one I've organised for December, for mid-December. No, actually the week before Christmas. And I'm really hoping, and there's 10 of us, and it's down in Cornwall, so people are travelling quite a long way from, like, Laurie, people are coming down from Nottinghamshire, Warwickshire, Hampshire, to come on my little event I've organised, which is lovely. I really thank people for coming down all the way down here. So I'm hoping that it goes ahead. They're out lockdown, but it's an 800-year-old manor house. And it's very rarely investigated, but the guy who owns it has been living in there since he was a young kid. And I just heard some rumours about the place, so I went to visit it. And it's used as a wedding venue now, so he's done all the rooms up and all the different themes and stuff. So we have the place. There's just 10 of us. We have the place for 24 hours. From midday to midday, and we're gonna have a festive supper in the big dining room, and we're gonna bring some Christmassy food and obviously investigate, and then we're staying there, and then we've got a stable block, an old cow barn, and the grounds and everything like that. So I'm really hoping that it will go ahead. We shall see. We'll see what happens at the beginning of this December, but the guidelines are still there, even though it's not a public event, but we still got to remain safe. So I've still the guidelines in place and things like that. So fingers crossed. And then I've got a few events next year. I've organised an event with Margam Castle. Again, this is all fingers crossed. Margam Castle at the end of January, which I went about 6 years ago, and I wanted to go back, for a long time. So excited about that. Again, I hope it goes ahead. And then I'm doing one of the Ancient Ramen, would you believe?
I've never been there, but I want to go to the Ancient Ramen.
Next June. And then Shepton Mallet Prison, which I've heard so many things about from people, and it was so funny when I rang up the guy who organises the event. I gave him all these dates. He was like, no, and I was like, he said, I've got one available Saturday. I was like, I'll take it. So that's next August, and that's almost sold out already, which is great. But yeah, so a few things planned, and I hope to reschedule some of the ones that we're booked this year. Hope to reschedule at some point next year. So yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm not doing it as a business, just with friends and other paranormal investigators, because we still need to do it. I still need to do it. I need to get my paranormal fix. So and hopefully do some more in the southwest as well. So we shall see. We shall see what next year brings. But good things to look forward to anyway.
Yeah. So before I wrap it up, so where can anybody find you on social media?
Just on my Facebook. That's it. Greig Chandler, just on my Facebook page. And any events that I'll organise will be in the event section, and you can find my events on there, and I can share them out. Now and again, I always kind of share them out to friends on Facebook. So yeah, that's where I am. So yeah.
So there we go. Thank you everybody for done. Thank you everybody for watching. Obviously, if you're watching back, just if you have any questions for Greig, just pop them in the comments and I'll pass them to him tomorrow.
Yes, watch back. And if you don't think you've watched enough, watch it back again.
Yeah. Obviously, thank you to Greig. It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you, Sam. It was nice to come back on and see you and chat. It was good. So
that's it, guys. So it's good night from Greig.
Good night, and see you all soon sometime, hopefully in the future. Fingers crossed. Take care, everybody.
And it's good night from me, guys.